IGL on the T side. Let's see how their structure does for them as we head into the first pistol. VP stacked pretty heavily over towards this A site. I think it's just going to be Buster to play retake on B for the time being. He's just have a little bit of a spot towards ramp as the duel does ensue into middle.
YEKINDAR and D-Hart playing a bit of cat and mouse.
Yeah, that's it. But YEKINDAR not backing down from that one. And as such, I mean, the B side XE is going to come in. It is a retake setup for VP, so they're just looking for kills through the smoke or on the retake angles.
Oh, you don't want to face through that. ENCE are making this work in their favour. Now they're going to group up through quad, and they're going to push all the way through. That smoke just separates the CTs from being able to retake, and they have been pushed even further out of this bomb site.
Yeah, beautiful from ENCE. Nice little smoke execute. They did give those angles over to the CTs, but the flash coverage as well as the spacing and the duels taken from ENCE quite comfortably and confidently does find them the openers that they needed and a very, very convincing pistol. So that's going to start their T-side campaign off beautifully. As for VP, they're looking to save this light armor. Can definitely help your second round forces if you already start with the Kevlar. Plus, if they didn't take any points of damage, that's going to be a very cheap upgrade into the head armor.
Fantastic start for ENCE. And for those of you that are wondering, we are definitely not Harry and Hugo.
Oh boy, it troubles me. Some people that can't tell the difference between an Australian accent and a British accent, but you know what? It's fine, guys. I guess we'll, at one point or another, you know, convicts on boats, something history. I don't bloody know, mate.
Just lean into it, mate.
Oh yeah. I can't do a British accent, but it's fine. We'll leave it. We'll leave it there for sure.
Yeah, terrible accents.
Terrible.
But force buy in from VP. YEKINDAR nets the first with spam with the CZ.
He wallbanged him with a CZ. That's ludicrous.
Oh, he's going to go for a second here. Doto falls to that CZ. YEKINDAR's already found a great return on investment. And there's no chance for a trade.
Yeah. Look, he's not stopping. I mean, it's classic YEKINDAR, isn't it? Re-aggression. Even thinking about sitting inside of zone smoke. In the meanwhile, Buster has found that pick towards the ramp. It's all falling apart for ENCE, who have to try and recover a 2-on-5. But D has done quite well to take Buster out of the equation.
Oh dear. The numbers really have thinned for ENCE. These are the sort of situations where you don't necessarily need an IGL to get you out of the mid-round situation, but YEKINDAR, is he going to get another with his CZ? He does. Oh, the CZs. Cleaning up, Pilski. That's a disaster.
What year is it, Jim? CZ, OP. I mean, in a position like Cheetah, that's gorgeous. But the most ludicrous part of that is this. The spam through off spotting him on the little tiny angle. The pixel line from YEKINDAR. And even though he's out of ammo at the end of that round after getting those last 4 bullets, he's completely out of ammo there. He still draws enough aggro for Jame to come in and trade him out.
Yeah, D-Hart just left with an untenable situation, having to try and dismantle a crossfire like that. But early aggression from VP, again towards B lane. They've actually kept ENCE. The Fisher in the barrel, Mitch, and Buster is just shooting. Is he going to be able to get out? He will. But look how many members of VP are here. They're being cleaned up.
So aggressive. Want to deal with this force buy before it even gets off the ground. And Hades, his whole team's dead. He's got 10 HP. They haven't taken a single CT out of the equation this round. That means that the economy is just going to be going straight to the moon. Invest in VP coin immediately, because they're looking great.
Pro coin.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
Dirt coin. As opposed to dirt coin.
Absolutely. That's exactly
probably what happens when their money gets broken.
That's unquestionable. I actually quite kind of rate that.
Yeah. Yeah, you would buy Vertcoin, right, Jim?
I would. Even if I was on eco like ENCE.
Pumped and dumped immediately. That's basically what happened to ENCE, let's be real.
Yep.
They're feeling great about themselves. They got that pistol. And we're already in a very different game.
Molotov just stopping the rest off. ENCE from helping Doto. So they've just been zoned off. YEKINDAR, a pop flash, that one flash that ENCE had, it's not netting any results. And they brought key shooters to a gunfight.
I mean, you could say from personal experience just how demoralizing it is to get wiped out on the anti-force like that and then just kind of get bullied on the anti-eco. These rounds go by like nothing, 10, 15 seconds. You know, if you get wiped in this first gun round pretty quickly, like this game is going to start to feel like it's spiraling out of control.
Certainly don't want that to get out there, get out of hand too early on. But this is the big test. This is the gun round for ENCE. So again, I wanted to see what their T-side protocols were. Just that early smoke in mid, no push from it whatsoever. YEKINDAR goes on a stroll. Adam very nearly loses his life through that spam, so they've lost numbers early on here, VP.
Yeah. Wondering how they play this man down situation. As ENCE set up for a bit of a play towards B where they found the initial pick. They progress into cheetah. Molotov to create a little bit more space for them. As VP fortify the site. Buster going aggressive. He's found a perfect time towards ramp. No one's got their bloody gun out. Spinx is able to trade quite nicely. And with Diha exploring the A side of the map, that's a contingency plan open for ENCE that they potentially need here.
It's going to have to be a quick rotate, though. That smoke will come in. 2B. So that's just going to keep VP on this B bomb site. In fact, it's even going to pull the rotator off. Surprised not to see the continuation of a push from Diha on the A bomb site. Bomb is going, though.
Yeah, that's beautiful from ENCE. Pulling all of the rotates, limiting the risk as much as possible. Issue being that Spinx is the only one with a smoke. So if you want to block off some of these longer angles of sight, take the AWP out of the equation, it's going to be a little bit more difficult going forward, but they put the smoke in the right position. And VP, having kicked off this round with at least one Thamus, are quite happy, considering the state of their economy, to just save over. See if they can find any exits. Continue to damage that T-side economy wouldn't be too bad, so Jame's going to post up on the AWP. But for the most part, I think it's in both teams' interest to avoid fights at this stage of the game. ENCE, they want to try to build up their economy if possible. As for VP, it's still early days. The CT side economy is a fickle mistress, that's for sure. So don't want to be chancing yourself too much.
Don't want to get overconfident, but you can just see they're not pressing on once they've got their exit secured. And you're right. I guess the carrot is dangled in front of VP. They could have potentially gone on to push for some further weapons, but they've built such a strong economy already early on in the match. They don't want to necessarily risk that, going to take guns out of a T-side economy that, I don't know, gets buffed pretty regularly anyway. They're not necessarily going to have a net return from that worth pushing early on and maybe risking their own economy in future rounds.
Spam through from Buster in combination with the aggression from YEKINDAR is going to be so annoying to deal with. But not going to be a factor as much in this round. YEKINDAR still considering that push towards Cheetah, but the Molotov has already kept him back in towards cave side. Spam through from Buster yet again. But ENCE haven't been troubled by this Cheetah map control this time around. They have been able to secure that quite nicely, and Diha, with the pick over towards the A side, is just going to put VP kind of into panic mode. They're losing picks right and left. ENCE are going fantastic in this gun round.
That just opens up that A-bomb site, but more importantly, pulls the rotator off. So back to a 3v4, 3v5, and, well, Buster, Jame, just tense moments for them in this B-bomb site. They're about to be pincered and pretty hard.
Don't mind the aggression from Buster. Trying to take matters into his own hands. Surely ENCE are going to be ready for that, but there are timings where something like this can work. Spam comes through. Hades with the jump spot, though, does check him. And surely the trade potential's there. Forget about a trade. It's another duel won by an ENCE rifler. And now Jame all alone, flit spotted mid. And with Diha coming through on the flank, I mean, he doesn't even get a chance to shoot. Nothing could go wrong for ENCE in this gun round. It's a clean one. A chance for their money to build. And Flit, he gets the one exit, but It's in his best interest to try and save this rifle if possible. He's doing some nice damage to the economy, though.
Nothing on offer for him in terms of the round, but we questioned what the protocols would be for ENCE, whether or not they'd be able to work a T side, especially on Mirage. And so far, they've been able to wrangle the cats and herd them all into that B bomb site. I thought for a moment there was a chance for this A rotation from Flit to do some damage. He was obviously going very slowly though, didn't have a lot of information. There was also there's some brakes being pumped over at the B bomb site. ENCE had bomb sites around it, but they just pumped the brakes and caused that moment of doubt in both Jame and Buster to not necessarily call for a faster rotation.
No doubt. Yeah, just good fundamentals out of ENCE being shown. And Deha has been doing a very, very good job as this wing player on the T side. Just giving ENCE those contingency plans, but even just being able to take a duel that early on in the half, that is actually quite big to find that pick, because that's going to condition how that A side anchor starts to play as we head deeper into this half. If you're able to get a pick off like that, like a cheeky one, it could really change how that CT side anchor can play in terms of the angles that they play, the precautions that they take, the way that they dump util.
Definitely changes the game. Changes the way they approach and think about it. And no doubt that's going to be a factor weighing on the minds of their opposition too as they head into future rounds. But coming into this round, investment on the cards.
Yeah, no double AWP, surprisingly, considering how strong VP's money was. And this time, two-man setup in towards Donut. YEKINDAR's in cheater, so that's been a big win condition for VP so far. But ENCE changing things up. They're working the B side of the map quite regularly, but this time, creeping out of A. Unpunished by James. Surprising to see him miss a shot like that. An absolute sitter for the man. And Mater's just opened up the site beautifully. Flit still in Donut and actually given himself a 2K. But Hades on that long angular sight further extends the advantage for ENCE, who end up in a 3-on-1. And it seems like they could do no wrong these last couple of gun rounds, Jim.
Just been so much better in the gun rounds, you're right. They've almost had this sixth sense as to what VP are doing. They've been able to just make those adjustments. I like that call, just to no frills, head towards 8 on a round like this. And that being said, though, you don't normally see Jame miss a shot like that. And that's the one that opens up onto that A bomb site. So unfortunate for VP.
I mean, that's that conditioning coming in where you see Deha go and take that duel towards A long. You post the AWPer up, you go, that should be a freebie. That should be a free pick. And actually, ENCE, it's not the individual player going for the pick over on that part of the map. It is the three-man contact, but that's a kill that Maiden should never be getting. And actually, the fact that he finds that opener is quite ludicrous, because it's not only that frag where it ends. He actually goes on to 3K that round.
Jame reaction. All pertained, though. And that's all they've got. Back on their CZs for VP. Proven to be quite effective, but so has this early A presence from ENCE. And they're going straight back into it. They're not messing around. Smokes will come in. And that's just going to lock VP out momentarily. However, sitting on the other side of those smokes is a pain train.
Jame on the AWP. Giving a win condition to a VP team that don't have a whole lot to work with. The pistols around it all can always be a recipe for success. And worst case scenario, well, it's Jame. I think you can put the rest together yourself.
Just going to check my watch.
What time is it?
It's Jame time, and it's only going to be a save. So I guess it really is Jame time. Might be an exit on offer here for qikert, but unfortunately, he's just going to have to kick it in Donut.
Yeah. Can he kick it? Yes, he can. Money's great for ENCE.
Yeah, money's great for ENCE. Might be a little bit dry, though, for Virtus.pro. But we know all about dry, don't we, Pilski?
Mostly in terms of the humor.
Absolutely. The desert out here.
But also in other ways, which are not really broadcast friendly, so we'll leave it and just watch this sick run boost from VP.
Oh.
No, the smoke. Fix the smoke, please. You can't put out the molly. And James just lost 70 HP to a molly. Hades all the way deep in in Cheetah rather, setting himself up on that AWP line. He's just creeping through cave. Maiden's actually the one to take first contact here. No noise has been made by ENCE, but Buster, unfortunately, not off the line. And the stand-in for ENCE is having so much impact. Maiden has had so many bloody entries this half.
Yeah, they're giving him so much to work with as well. And quite clearly a lot of freedom. So, retake being staged here by VP, but with YEKINDAR and Jame low, I do not like their chances, and they are just going to save. No real surprise here, Pilski, as well, ENCE very decisive on that T side. It's starting to get out of hand here for VP. Or maybe going on to Ancient. May have played into their hands with that, lack of in-game leadership from ENCE. But they've turned it around. ENCE obviously had the better win percentage. A 50% win percentage might have been slightly lower by the fact that they don't have their IGL. Not proving to be the case though. Their T side's looking quite healthy.
Absolutely. It's been great to watch ENCE at the moment. Obviously helps when Diha's finding a whole lot of success on the wings, whether it's just finding the info or being able to find the picks. But most of all, it's been Madden on the stand-in. He's been the big impact player for ENCE, actually. He's found so many entries. He's found a couple of multi-frags as well in these gun rounds. And he's really setting up for ENCE for success. The rest of the team able to come through and follow him in. And, I mean, he's, again, just taking initiative, but this time shut down. So how much success will ENCE have now that they've lost that first pick? And so far in this half, their most impactful player.
Well, Doto's done so much damage to James for that spam. Oh, YEKINDAR. We're going to find the timing on him regardless. He had that utility out at the worst possible moment. And that has just pushed ENCE into this faster approach towards the A bomb site, but it's just been halted momentarily. Spinx has got his work cut out for him.
Does find the timing, but YEKINDAR on the trade from bottom middle, all the way from downtown. Man's pushed straight through Cheetah yet again. And it's all on Hades. And I think that seems to be the key for VP. You shut down Madden. Yeah, and the rest of ENCE kind of crumbled beneath that, at least for the time being. Without that entry or that pressure being created on the other part of the map, it's harder for Diha to find impact as well. That is disgusting from Jame.
Oh, he's just sent Hades into the underworld.
Oh, God. He was sitting in that temple, making some kind of a ritual happen. It seems to have worked. So VP, they picked themselves up another round, and they're starting to chip down the T-side economy of ENCE, giving themselves a big in back into this game, especially with a clean round like that, Jim. That's going to really settle their money. Look at that, 3+K almost on all of their players. James got a healthy bank. That's a recipe for success. Aggression straight down middle. The layering of that utility from both teams, just taking Spinx out of the equation, and that's another man advantage for VP, who are playing retake on this A site. Jane posted deep on that line. It's a freebie for him, or it should have been.
No.
You saw it in the player camp, Jim. A little frustrated with that miss, but he's making up for it now.
Absolutely. Certainly uncharacteristic of him to miss a shot like that, but late lurk also on the cards too. Doto just sitting around the base of mid. They have not got anybody on that bomb plant. It's just sitting in the middle of the A bomb site, and there we go. YEKINDAR going to be frustrated by that. However, both Jame and Buster trying to isolate Madden. He's just doing damage again. Jame now has to hit 2 crisp shots, and Hades is posted on the line. Nothing on offer for VP. That's a frustrating round.
That was an opportunity to break ENCE's money, but they passed the test with flying colors, despite the fact that they lose the man advantage that round. And again, that's the second shot that Jame has missed on the players creeping out that A temple. And it's not like those have been hard shots, you know. Those have been pretty rudimentary shots for an AWPer of James' level. No utility is being thrown at him to push him off the line. There's no flashes. There's no smokes onto it. Should just be free pickings for him. Look at this.
Ooh,
Very quick
oh.
up the ramp, but so much utility damage being taken there by ENCE as
Oh.
they try to get the space in. And Buster it spams the whole team through the smoke. D-Hill's right there as well. Surely it's a 4K for this man.
Oh, that grenade just set things up so nicely. The Molotov is just going to split Hades away. So no trade potential here. He's going to isolate the duel. He can't get it done though. Running out of bullets. D-Hart is still alive, but 4 versus 2. The chances in this round are going to hinge on the fact as to whether D-Hart can do a lot of damage. And well, that's been answered. Flit finds him. Hades could do some damage to this TT economy, but it is put to rest by Jame. It's a good round from VP. ENCE taking so much utility damage trying to take position early.
The money looking like for them. Could put a buy together here. Would just be one player to go down to a Mac 10 or a pistol perhaps. As ENCE take a timeout and have a bit of a chat about how they can stay competitive in this half. Because the pendulum's starting to swing back the other way. VP, that was a good round for them to pick up. They've been steadying their money over time. That's one of the great things about this VP roster that you've seen in most situations is that they're very responsible with their money. You know, it is a bit of a meme, obviously. But they often just set themselves up for success and for strong halves and play the good economic game. While still giving themselves outs. You know, having those hero AWPs and hero weaponries from time to time that they often just save over quite responsibly. Here's the buy up though. I was saying it before. ENCE down onto that Mac 10, but 4 rifles across the board. Jame so quickly down middle. The run boost is beautiful, but it's another miss.
Oh, they were ready for it though, ENCE. Madden once again striking. Going to stream out into mid 2. Flit chooses not to take that fight and will pull back. But he's just gone 1 for 1, and that is going to open up A nicely for ENCE. Should they choose to take it? No smokes are going to suggest that they will.
Yeah. A lot of pressure on qikert. He's trying to buy time for the team to come in. He's chosen a beautiful time to peek out in towards Donut side and just fades away into the temple of smoke. Meanwhile, YEKINDAR straight through another smoke. Gets 1 for 1. Spinx doing work with the AWP. Switching out for the AK, but qikert's really the hero of this round. Just completely annihilating ENCE from that temple. And he's beautifully just lined up every single angle. You could just see the way he's moving around. Just AD, isolating the angles, ready to counter strafe, and the crosshair placement just totally on point. Exactly how you want your side anchor player to play. Playing for the picks, playing around the utility perfectly.
Just about survivability, really. That's exactly the way he plays it.
And he'll take all of the kills as well, if he can get them.
Cool, calm, collected, and clinical. And again, this B-ramp aggression coming out. Buster, he is a repeat offender. Oh, he's going to get away with that too. The support from YEKINDAR is fantastic. Utility from VP wins that round out. And Pilski, that is the kind of round that you want to build confidence and momentum heading into the final round of this half. And as you switch sides.
He just slammed the fast forward button on the anti-eco. I'm not going to complain too much, to be honest.
Looked like he was in trouble too, I'll be honest, with that flash.
Yeah. Limited util here for ENCE, though. We'll see how they navigate this last gun round of the half. We'll split the difference between these two teams. A lot of the util initially invested over towards this B side of the map to try to take some map control for ENCE. Double mollies invested from VP. And you can see ENCE just burning a little bit more utility. They're really anticipating that aggression out of VP because they've been conditioned to do so. But VP, they just throw the mollies and sit back on the B site. And they've got Jame posted up in cheater. So we get this mid-round re-aggression between Jame and YEKINDAR. As soon as ENCE have just spent an extra 20 or 30 seconds clearing out this part of the map, then they walk into the AWP.
It's a wonderful surprise when that happened, but it's burning down the clock here. ENCE and VP, they are steadfast in the way that they are holding this site. just still maintaining numbers over towards Cave, and Buster again. Very lucky not to be put to pieces there. Hades does take the challenge and starting to work that crossfire here as qikert. Oh, that's such powerful information. And he goes 1 for 2. That is a great way for Virtus.pro to round out the half here against ENCE. Don't go anywhere. Half number 2 is coming up after the break.
Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night and never day. Even when I wash the floor, the dust still comes. Keep on hoping for the break.
With the A1S buff to see those kind of strategies lose favor though, and to see potentially if the A1S investments do come out, potentially the AK forced to lose some popularity and then move back towards the Deagle chipping damage. But we do see the hero AK come out, and it's going to just get absolutely domed. That could be potentially Deha able to retrieve that AK, but he's got other plans.
There's a waiting pair of arms across the other side of that smoke there. There's both. Oh, here we go. Flash into the smoke to retrieve that weapon. Oh, it's just going to line up for Deha. Again, he gets the AK anyway. So, daylight robbery. Jame, well, P250 at a dream, and dreams are free, Mac. P250. About $300.
Yeah. Not exactly free. But 5 alive for ENCE. So that round was as close to free as it gets going up against the pistols when you get the hero AK out of the equation nice and early on. Now VP, first gun round for them. Plenty of work to do for both teams in this half, but at least ENCE have got the better end of the economy. At least for now. Looking like a pretty straightforward one here for VP, Jim. Heading straight towards A. Not a whole lot of utility on offer, and they're going to invest the majority of it just getting into this site.
A lot of work to be done here from Deha. Just going to play that off angle too. Cleans up qikert, who cops some early grenade damage, and smokes are going to rain in as they try and fight their way in. Now VP, this is an awkward stance because ENCE are getting in front of those smokes. Oh, Doto and Spinx just combining nicely to deny entry. And Flit and YEKINDAR have to rethink their approach. Bomb is in those A-holes, but YEKINDAR has a wealth of room over at B. And no surprise, given the big commitment from VP in trying to take that A-bomb site. Big rotation from ENCE.
Yeah, 2 on 5. Going to be quite a difficult prospect, especially because first contact is likely going to be with the P250. And Flit still taking his time moving through the map. Wants to try to ensure he's not going to get picked across into the site. Going to plant nice and safe, but an open plant gives them more potential to win a round like this. And I like the aggression on Flit. They're both going to try to take the duels towards CT spawn here.
Oh, Flit. Okay. This round might still have some life in it yet. Gonna try and play the time. The reposition coming through. I don't think he's gonna have the HP to deal with those duels. Oh, they haven't actually got on the bomb yet. And now he's on a 1 versus 1. Spinx should be able to rescue that, but that is a very expensive round. That's going to come down to the wire, actually. He does get it. Tense moments, just a fraction of a second more, Pilski. And that would have been one of the most intense 2v5s in a while.
Still work done, though, from VP. They completely break the economy of ENCE for the most part, except for Spinx, who's got the 6k in the bank. And the bomb plant does actually open the avenue of buying up into this round for VP. Would definitely have to be a pretty low util buy, but if they can get it across the line with ENCE on the 1400 loss bonus, that's where you could definitely see the money get broken for at least 4 of the players outside of Spinx. And they're going to try to take advantage of that opportunity they created.
That's a carrot being dangled in front of them, right? Like the opportunity to just break that economy.
I mean, even if they don't, as long as they take 3 guns off the CTs in a round like this, and then they can go for a half buy, it's just about damage over time to the economy and keeping things competitive until you can put together a convincing enough buy to where you can take advantage of all that damage over time. Not much utility on offer for VP in a round like this, and they invest most of their grenades in the first 15-20 seconds of the round, just running the standard sort of default map control protocols. Smoke to top mid, smoke to donut as well. Blitz actually the main man with utility, and he's just going to take a fight and die with a full bolt of nades. So that's definitely not ideal, and all VP have to work with is just rifles and a smoke, so not going to be too much nuance to a round like this. In the 4-on-5, they really very much must go and take some duels and try to get things back in their favor.
Slow and steady. Going to win the race here. Buster gets spotted out, so VP are going to try and work with that mid position that they do have. Spinx overcommits, and he's put into the dirt by Jame. So that opens up a channel now for VP to really just start to pick away at CT rotations. Now, A is under a great deal of threat here, Pilski.
Yeah. YEKINDAR's just cutting the map in half. Even on 25 HP, you can see him creating pressure for the rest of the squad. That's pulling the rotation of Hades back into spawn. That means that AWP is not really minding A right now. It's just DHAR playing retake. This is where VP, they could get into the site, get that critical entry. All the difference could be made. But DHAR dancing around the temple perfectly, flashes for himself. Buster takes Hades out in the meanwhile, though. And now they're trying to isolate that duel onto DHAR. They do take him out. So VP, they've done very well to put this into a 2-on-2. And Buster just further extending that advantage.
Oh, the big spray commitment there from Madden. Couldn't find Jame. And you're right, Pilski, that money is looking worse for wear on ENCE. They are on the back foot. They've got to do some talking. That's what they want to do, but they're not going to take the tactical timeout to do so. You can see that big investment coming from Virtus.pro has a flow-on effect into these future rounds. And oh, okay, ENCE, they're going to fashion a Whitlam sampler of a buy. They're going to try and make this work.
Yeah, they're all going to regress into middle. And again, they've done a pretty good job of finding that pick quite routinely towards bottom mid after Molotoving out that position. Big Pete must recover another 4-on-5. They've got a pretty significant weaponry advantage for the most part. And Jame putting that to great use. Please out, cheater. A beautiful 2K from that man to just flip this round on his head. And now ENCE kind of scrambling into position.
Are they going to scramble in time, though? And right there is the bomb will arrive on that bomb site. Going to take it the long way. Take it through cave. So they're going to make that dangerous cross into the bomb site. I suspect. Okay, that's a lot of damage done to Buster through that smoke. So Virtus.pro going to opt to go for this B bomb site plant. Late lurk through mid is not going to be effective. And
yeah.
Saves coming out.
It's just the Mac 10. But, well, got a bit more dangerous. Finds the AK. Knew that was around there somewhere from when YEKINDAR died earlier. And VP, not much incentive to hunt, really. Their money is pretty woeful. But giving qikert that MP9 might just be the one player who does kind of want to push the issue and see if he can upgrade his weaponry or take guns off the CT. So what a bloody timing. Spinx turns away at the worst possible time. He's going to lose his life. No, qikert. That's $1,200 in the bank. And yes, he only gets a scout out of that, but that makes a huge difference. ENCE, their economy left reeling. Even if they buy up into this next round, you're going to be looking at like 4 to 4.8k. You're not going to be able to have the AWP online. You're going to be pretty limited on the utils. So VP, these last couple of gun rounds, they've really been digging deep for some man disadvantage situations. They've won both of them, and they've done it reasonably cleanly. It's quite impressive when a team goes down 4v5 and then wins with 3 players alive.
Absolutely. I mean, you asked for the hero M4. D-Hard's produced it, but not in the circumstances that you were outlining earlier. VP just going to take this round slowly. Flit doing a lot of exploratory work on mid. It's going to stumble upon a few of CTs. It's going to be taken down. It's going to lose that AK. That's not good news.
Definitely not. It's another gun that ENCE can take over into the next round. Going to be quite happy with that. How fragile their economy is. Every gun matters at this stage of the game. VP just kind of going through the motions, though. They know they're in control of this game, and they certainly know how to close it. One of these teams where their pacing on this T side can be very frustrating to play against, and if your communication and your synergy is not on point, i.e., for example, if you're playing with a stand-in, then you might not be able to deal with it.
It's just going to turtle up, see what they can save here. Those 2 rifles are the prized possession. Alright, YEKINDAR's going to give it a good nudge. Oh, D-Hard standing tall. No real threat incoming, and well, ENCE will save those 2 weapons over. As we said, that's exactly what the CT side need to do, is just consolidate their own economy heading into these last few rounds. And what feels like it's been a one-sided matchup. Scoreline's certainly a lot closer, at least when in this second half. Felt as though Virtus.pro have certainly had the upper hand, but ENCE just keep notching these rounds up, saving these weapons. It's good economy management under pressure.
Yeah. Issue is, I feel like VP, the individuals are starting to fire a little bit more consistently. Madden's been a bit more quiet on the CT side compared to some of his big impact plays on that T side. We need to see some more individual brilliance out of ENCE. It still feels like VP, the individuals have been firing up on some of these critical rounds. Deep cheater control. D has all the way through the A side of the map. So some pretty crucial parts of the map being controlled by ENCE right now. If they can leverage that to a round victory, because VP is very much working middle, which is going to be worrisome for the CT side. They don't have a whole lot of information about what's happening in the middle part of the map, but they do have some control of the extremities at least, Jim.
Absolutely critical for them. Now Buster, just looking for that opening entry. Smoke will come in. He's going to force a rotation or movement from Doto. Nope, he's just going to stand still.
I mean,
and let Buster in.
That is just classic VP, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Single smoke comes out onto B. You get entryed on B. You get entryed on A within the space of 2 seconds at the same time, and they've still got the player covering cheater. Like, ENCE are basically sitting there. They know they have that cheater control. They know how they have that A side of the map control. And in the second, your round is entirely dismantled. All of the little things you were worrying about. Holding cheater, holding that A side of the map. You know, you're communicating to each other. X and Y is dirty. And you got to be careful of, you know, the donut creep and all these kind of things, or push up B ramp. And all of the things you're worried about end up being your undoing. VP, another big gun round from them. And this is where ENCE at 10 to 12, with not a whole lot of money behind them, have a whole lot of work to do, Jim, because VP are really starting to get rolling. Their economy's established, and it feels like they're the ones taking initiative in this game. They're being very assertive on this T side and playing their, style that they're very comfortable with. And ENCE has to find an answer to that. It's interesting to see them force buy into a round like this, though, when they have that full loss bonus. I thought they would probably take the single save, right?
It's a big decision to make, right? 80's on that at all. Seeing if he can make an impact. But then you've got Dihar and Madden on Bamus and P250, and then Doto just stuck on that Deagle. So a lot of work to be done here. Big presence towards mid and B early on. Hoping they can catch one out. Flit goes 1 for 1. And it's a re-aggression that they have to watch out here for ENCE.
Frog utility into cheater. YEKINDAR takes a pretty critical part of the map there. Buster looking to sit inside of the smoker, maybe creep up ramp and open up the round like he did previously. AWP over towards the A side of the map. Not going to see a whole lot of action. Molotov just flushes Madden out, and VP just further extending their advantage. Just constricting the CT side. All of the utilities just forcing the CTs into bad duels that they don't really want to be taking.
Buster is the recipient of most of those rotations. He seemingly had at least 2 CTs straight into his open arms. Now qikert is going to try and cut the rotation, harass it. So ENCE are in a really awkward position right now. D-Hub has to get out of there. Big flank coming in from qikert as well. So they're going to have a tough time on their hands trying to save these 2 weapons. Hades really needs to save that orb. Opportunity for big impact in future rounds, but falls here. It's a big investment that goes by the wayside.
All right. Well, qikert applying the pressure. Wants to take the AWP out of Hades' hands if he can. Flash is beautiful from YEKINDAR. Sets him up for success, and that AWP gets lost as a result. It's now... Look, that could have been a save through from there. That one gun difference being saved over actually makes a difference between a convincing buy and not having a convincing buy. Just that one extra A1S being saved over and the AWP. And Buster has just had such a fantastic strike rate creeping up ramp.
He really has...
It's one of those situations where you know he's coming, you just don't know when he's coming and in what circumstance.
Yeah, he just stands and delivers. It really has been a thorn in the side for ENCE. They cannot take their eye off the B ramp. They either have to commit utility to stopping his progression or have to take those fights. And that's exactly what the situation they don't want. He's just gone straight on in. He's going to put pressure here on Spinx, who only has a deagle. So it's only a matter of time before he falls. And that is as easy as you like for VP. So they just run their way through that round straight into the meat grind up for ENCE. And now this is a critical round for them. Big investment once again. Loss bonus is certainly much better. But if you're ENCE right now, this is where they're going to just get themselves centered, get themselves settled. I don't want this one to run away from them.
Yeah, Buster. It's being the spearhead of a great VP T side right now. Just effective in that role on multiple different kinds of rounds. Either he's the entry for the boys going very quickly into that B site, or he's an aggressive lurk just applying pressure so that space can be found elsewhere by the rest of VP. And you never know what you're going up against. Buster going up ramp, and you don't know if there's 3 or 4 of the boys behind him or elsewhere. It's frustrating to play against.
Certainly doesn't make it easy for a team that is struggling without an IGL in this match.
Yeah, I feel like they've almost had more luck on the T side because they can be assertive and they can pick and choose where they want to be going. But on the CT side, it feels like things have kind of fell apart, where you need the synergy between players. You need the IGL to be able to adjust setups and respond accordingly to what the other team's throwing at you. there just hasn't really been very much synergy at all from ENCE, it's felt like.
Yeah, definitely thought they were going to be more on struggle street on that the T side, but the stand-in Madden was playing with a lot of freedom and was able to find them some openers that were very handy in fashioning some rounds.
He's kind of the standout in the opening half, but gone quite quiet since. Very, very fast contest towards middle, and it feels like ENCE have won that opener more times than not, but YEKINDAR doing what he does best. Dives through the smoke. He finds a 3K on 16 HP. And a round that was going okay for ENCE is very quickly now falling by the wayside. qikert, Punish running out 8. Trying to find where these last players are coming from, and ENCE have given away their positions, even though they have evened up the 2-on-2. This will now give VP the opportunity to just set themselves up in a post plan on B on their own terms.
And Molotov will just lock things down for the moment. However, it has been beaten out here by Doto. He's just going to tank it momentarily and actually catches Buster out now. So they have to find out where Jame is, and with that flank coming in, Jame either has to make some quick decisions or be flanked just like that. So a round much needed for ENCE. They do take a lot of losses though in that economy in winning it. So still not in healthy shape. Still not able to build themselves round money coming into the pointy end of this game, Pilski. And I don't know, it just feels as though Virtus.pro are posturing for a decisive few rounds, particularly if that CT economy does break.
What a bloody transfer. See, it's a great transfers today. That's another one of them. The one from Apex in the opening game of the day was absolutely fantastic as well. It's another gun round in front of them. This time a double AWP could be a bit of a change-up that they perhaps need at this point. Especially because you're seeing Doto post up towards ramp, where Buster has been pestering the CT side time and time again. Double smoke to top mid from VP. Maybe not the best use of utility that they were looking for. But they're still working this mid control quite convincingly nonetheless. It's like ENCE are just giving them donut and the middle time and time again. Playing retake on middle.
Just pumping the brakes, though, in this mid-round. Set up nicely, though. Over towards B. Split. Could be a real pain here, however. That duel YEKINDAR's about to take could open up onto this bomb site quite nicely. Oh, he's going to do a lot of damage here to Madden.
Oh, this is great from ENCE. Really recognizing the pacing of VP. And the smokes are invested at the perfect time. One in towards cave. One bottom ramp, but the flash over the top going to send Buster up the ramp, and this kicks off the B side. Execute. A lot of ENCE players over here, but somewhat segmented back and forth by the smokes, by the utility. It's just Spinx to hold in the back of the side as Madden gets cleaned out of cave, but he's unchecked. He's going to be able to multi-frag from this position, and that makes all the difference for ENCE. There's only 10 seconds on the clock, and Jame cannot even pick up the bomb. That's got to be the round.
That is the round done and dusted here. ENCE all in the back of Spinx, just biding his time, choosing the perfect moment. And some trigger discipline, no doubt, will go a long way. ENCE, they're fashioning this comeback. They do keep those AWPs alive too, so they're still able to run that double AWP play. Virtus.pro, they had to just sit tight in the corner. So their approach towards match point will be halted momentarily. What a round from Spinx.
Very patient. But that's the kind of play that you need against the VP team. Because when they run down the clock like this, you know that holding your util, like ENCE did, and also just tucking in the backs of the sites are some of the win conditions for sure. Doto aggression on the secondary AWP is exactly what they needed. Not something that VP were ready for, because it's not something that's been employed this whole game long.
No, it wasn't something that was telegraphed either. They haven't supported it with the utility that they normally would.
Yep. Usually you get that prog utility over the top Molotoving out those cubbies and setting up your cheater play up for success. But on the AWP, Doto's having all the impact late in the play. And VP now put into a 3-on-5, just going to keep things simple. Seems like they want to just go hit the small site.
ENCE retaking some map control. They had given a lot of mid control to VP. However, they were not there to take it. So just that triangle of Bermuda triangle of CT defense over here at B is going to be tested. And the utility from VP, they have a single smoke to get themselves onto this B bomb site. They've got to reclaim that bomb. Doto is playing in that shotgun or position. He's not going to be able to prevent the bomb plant. However, he's going to be there should they make the wrong move. Kick it. It's good for one. And now it is all on Jame's hands. He's looking good. Has to find 3 more, though, and I have to treat him with a lot of respect here. Maiden playing that angle. And know where he is, and he will not be able to prevent that round being won by ENCE. They've done a great job of getting themselves back into this match, Bilski. It's been on the back of some very good reads and some patient CT gameplay.
Yeah. They're making all the right adjustments as well. Playing the one-and-done angles on the site that sometimes don't get cleared when the time is low. Changing the pacing of their utility. Holding some of those critical pieces of util, the smokes and the mollies, until the late rounds where VP likes to hit. And obviously, I mean, the double AWP is a great adjustment against a slower style. Gives you lots of opportunities to find those openers when the utility isn't laid correctly. And even just Doto, especially on his scoreline, you know, he wasn't having the most fantastic of games. But to see him just still play with confidence, take that secondary AWP and go and push into cheater is a very promising sign. So now, after showing the double AWP and showing all the adjustments ENCE, they go back into the 4 rifle and the single AWP. Maybe anticipating something a bit quicker from VP. Especially after the attack timeout, you do expect that adjustment to come in.
Okay. Flit, absolutely no fear in mid. He's going to sit in that very forward position. Jame, immediate impact onto Spinx. Okay, that interestingly opens things up towards A. These are some big entries now, Pilski. And they're going to hit this A bomb site.
I mean, it's the push and pull effect. Diha, though, been pretty nice in the temple. Unfortunately, he will only 1-for-1. He cannot go huge for ENCE, and he was needing to. It's just Madden in towards spawn, playing for those exits. Jame still got mid locked down. Might even still take another gun off of the CT's hands. But they really need to save everything that they can, because this VP move on to map point. ENCE cannot afford to have any player be a liability. Don't want anyone on an MP9 or a pistol heading into these last couple of rounds if you want to try to push it to OT. That opener, though, from Jame, I mean, there's still some angles in this game that baffle me. You know, like, you don't think that you would be able to get picked on that line. For Spinx, you know, that you can't even see a little crack line onto middle or anything, but you still get picked. The shoulder's still spotted.
It's frustrating.
For sure, especially in a critical round like that.
Do or die now for ENCE. They do not want to go into that lower bracket. Oh, that is...
The elbow.
Yeah, exactly what you're talking about.
I mean, that's a side effect of, unfortunately, a map like Ancient being in the pool where you haven't learned every single little angle that's favorable or unfavorable. You're not sure exactly where you can and can't get picked from. Even though, you know, this map's been played out over many, many months now, there are still small things that you wouldn't see that mistake on another map.
Just comes down to the level of game time had on this map by both these two teams. I mean, they've had a few reps in the last 3 months. So it's not as though they're not playing it, but you're right, they're not necessarily having the effect that they want
All right.
in those angles. Okay.
It's going to be do or die here for ENCE. got to win 2 on the trot to push it into OT. And VP have got a good enough money to put together any kind of buy they want in the tail end of this half. Flit going to be uncontested in middle this time. YEKINDAR, he's thrown that prog utility in towards Cheetah's side. Lucky to get away with his life, but forget about it. He won't. Gets tagged through the wall. Doto's going to clean him up. Man advantage for ENCE.
Oh, Madden. Playing a dangerous game. Hades does level kick it though, so they continue to extend that advantage. And, well, ENCE are actually going to up the ante. They're going to play 2 players in that cave. VP really don't have too much choice here. Going to go for that small side execute.
Yeah, Hades smoked off the line. Trying to play retake with that AWP. Trying to reposition, but every angle he finds is grey screen. Just holding the flash for the top of cave to set the riflers up for success now.
Oh, Flit does catch Doto on the wrong angle, trying to get out of here. Flit goes for another one. He's just baited into that. Jame is good for the trade though, so it is back to a 2 versus 3. Late presence coming through from Spinx. That could be a factor, but Jame is still good. And they're just posted up now. Hades and Spinx have to try and work this together. Buster and Jame are just far too strong. Oh, Spinx though, on the off angle. Catches Buster napping, and that is going to be a 14th and important round for ENCE. They've taken losses, but their economy still means they're going to be able to buy into this, but it's only going to be with Famouses at best. Maybe if they go to stretch it a little bit for those M4s, they're going to have to be without something.
AWP gets picked up at the end of the round, though. This gives them that double AWP potential, at least for ENCE. And they're going to take attack timeout. May as well use it now if they're going to at all. Dihar likely down to a Famous here. Although Doto could go light armor and drop it as another M4 over. But yeah, it will be Famous and full util. So only single AWP and 4 rifles across the board for ENCE. They've got a lot of grind in this game. Good to see the concerted effort. And we are going to get a proper gun round in towards the 30th. Sometimes you see the hard reset, which is a bit of a heartbreaker in some of these best of ones. Bit of a, especially after a close game, a anticlimactic end to things. But a proper gun round here. And again, contest towards middle. Very fast pace from Flit. Straight through the smoke. Ooh. Instantly punished. And a man advantage for ENCE.
Spinx has been forward in that position so many times and really has been rewarded. However, he does come away. YEKINDAR does level numbers. It's back to a 4 versus 4. As the numbers start to spread, this does not favour the CT side. So ENCE have some ground to cover, have some work to do, but they do still have Spinx in that forward donut position.
A lot of pressure on Hades in a scenario like this. Solo on this B site with the AWP. You can see he's a little worried about Buster creeping up that ramp. I'm going to see if he can find him. VP also taking their time. There hasn't been any information gathering for ENCE here. Sitting all the way back on some off angles. They have decent retake utilities, so you can't blame them, to be honest. VP probably going to invest a fair bit of their util into taking the site. Hades going to smoke off the ramp yet again. And ENCE, a perfect timing to go and take that mid control. This is going to give them a little bit of a quicker flank as VP make their way onto the site. Haven't put the bomb down just yet, and this is where this double flank in through the ramp side could be huge, but Jane's got the line locked down.
Oh, okay. That smoke is going to be aggressed on, so Hades has got a lot of work to do still. Doto on that flank finds 3 through the wall, and now Jame has to activate himself in this 1 versus 3. That is not going to be the case. It looks like we are going to be headed to OT here as ENCE pull some rounds out of the fire. They have been looking good. They grind it back, 15-15. OT will be back after the break.
an opportunity for DR to complete this 1-on-2. Buster's way out of position, low HP. But I feel like Jame, with the open plant and timing the CT around this big stone block there, probably has this one locked down. Oh, that's terrible. Hate it when that smoke just rebounds off a random little clipping and doesn't quite cover where you want it to cover.
It's the same clipping that will prevent you from doing full damage, though. So you pop a HE in there and all of a sudden the player takes 3 HP instead of a 40-odd HP grand. But this is great work from YEKINDAR. He creates so much space for his team.
Yeah. I mean, he just won that round for VP. And the first of what they would want to be many in OT does go their way. Good little change up there, the pressure towards the A side of the map, but not going all in there. Aggression through Cheetah. And Madden does nicely, but YEKINDAR has been so good on the multi-frags towards middle. And in OT, it seems like there's no stopping him. He wants this game done for VP.
They really just have taken him off the leash that he was on in the first half of this match. And he's now OT rounds playing like a completely unrelenting T-side entry. Just has that freedom. We saw Madden with that same sort of entry freedom for ENCE, and it just works wonders. Now, D-Hard does level the score. However, they are going to lose control of this A-bomb site momentarily. But ENCE are just posturing for that retake. There we go. They didn't even let them into the bomb site. Denied entry before they're even allowed to sniff it out. And ENCE are looking good here. They got themselves some good rounds on the trot. Virtus.pro, they're going to buy back in.
Did find again some pretty unreasonable space up on towards that A site. Watching those two players outside of Donut. Thought that VP might have been able to put something together there, but that is the thing about the VP style. Sometimes all the pieces come together and sometimes it doesn't quite fit, I suppose. Big damage being tanked by both YEKINDAR and Flit. And this time, ENCE finds the opening pick with no reply from YEKINDAR. He's been so good at pegging a few back after the initial pick goes the way of ENCE. But this time doesn't have the immediate opportunity to do so. Oh.
Superb from Jame. Finds the timing through that smoke of the grenade onto Madden now. YEKINDAR, we've seen him do that a few times. Just get territory in mid, and now he pretty much has that left side of the map to himself. So bomb does not need to commit from Virtus.pro.
It's interesting because Flit is usually the one top mid, and he went down early, and it's almost like ENCE took it for granted that no one would be top mid there after Flit died, because he's always been the player over there. But this time, YEKINDAR taking on the burden of that role and doing a great work of it. Seems like this man could do no wrong right now for VP. We find themselves up 4-on-2. YEKINDAR applying more pressure towards Donut. Keeps Hades over there, but loses his life in the meanwhile. So VP, and effectively 3-on-1 in this side of the map, and Buster not leaving any room for D-Hart to be the hero for ENCE that they sorely needed in a round like that. Instead, that burden will fall on Hades.
Buster just full W through the smoke. It is 17-16 after the first half of OT. Now Pilski. Virtus.pro do have a slight round advantage, but ENCE proved themselves to be quite good. Oh, Jane, that is set a fraction of Madden's arm and punished him.
This is always the absurd thing about Jame, is you watch him in a game like this, and he's like 23-12, and then you remember that he missed like 6 shots in the first half, and you're like, oh, well, could have been even easier for him.
Yeah.
Could have literally been 30 by now.
Imagine what he could do if he hit those bread and butter shots. Now, YEKINDAR, again, just having early impact once again. However, he's been taken out of the picture.
Yeah, Madden, back on the T side where he did the majority of his work. Although it seems like a while ago. Won't put it past the man to just get straight back on that trend, but qikert puts him down immediately. Now ENCE trying to consolidate this 3-on-4. Do have some control of Cheetah, but they don't have any contingency plans. What you see is what you get. They more than likely just have to go B. But VP don't know that. You see them floating back towards middle. They don't have the information to know 100% that ENCE is coming in towards the site, so they're going to leave Buster tucked in the back of the site. Not a whole lot of HP to work with, but if unchecked, he could just completely dismantle this round for ENCE.
Uh-oh. He's going to get checked, though. So that is one pillar removed from this B-bomb site. Back to a 3v3 in the retake sitch. As, qikert does level Hades now. So that creates a dilemma here for Diha and Doto. They have to just put their backs to the wall and dig in. Now, big play here from Doto. If he can make this work. And he's going to actually go back towards the B ramp as Diha is smoked off. So a lot of work to be done here. They're going to have to aggress that smoke or get the spam right. And they're not going to be able to do so. And VP, successful retake. Good use of utility.
Put themselves on map point. Had a couple of tight games. Both of the games I've casted have gone to OT Gym. So if you want a quicker night, I think probably best to just remove me from the next one. I'll leave it up to you to make that decision. We'll see who's casting after this. But VP, they put themselves on map point, mate.
We'll have some discussions about that later on, but early utility just being tanked by Spinx. He just goes down. 43, that's not good. And ENCE don't. Their contingency has to take control of B lane. However, Buster, we've seen him do this so many times. He was doing this early in the first half. Get the impression, though, that ENCE are all over this.
Yeah. He's still going to take that initial contact, shadow advantage for the man, but still able to fade away. So non-committal of that initial duel. Madden again. Probing through Cheetah, taking some cave control. And in comes the utility to set themselves up, but it's a 5-man stack on the B side for VP. They've got a hard read. They've smoked off cave. Buster re-aggressing because he knows even if he goes down, there's so many CTs behind him. The flash through. YEKINDAR going to further aggress and force the issue down ramp. They just want to take the duels with ENCE to lure them into a false sense of security and make them hit this site where more CTs lie in wake, but ENCE don't take the bait. Madden left in cave while the rest of the teams reroute back through middle.
They've gone the smarter approach. They've gone straight back towards A, and that is going to make things difficult for VP as they stick around this A bomb site. Now, Madden has the job of just keeping them entertained, and he's done so. And VP are just chewing up that time. qikert, he's going to have to get a wriggle on back towards A, and they're just going to walk and play that contact. Oh, okay. They're not even going to hear him. This could be disastrous. Spinx is on the line. And they get that bomb plan in. Oh, Jame missing another shot. That's not good for VP. And now the retake is being staged with Flit. Just waiting things out here. He's going to just progress through that lane. And might be able to catch a timing here. Onto Diha. He does. And now Spinx is spurred into action. He's trying to keep ENCE alive here. Flit has this crossfire to dismantle. It's not looking good for them. The time is ticking. VP are not looking too good in this round as Flit recognises that. Might stick around to try and take a gun or two out of the economy, but time has expired. There's a good round from ENCE, that mid-round read to just go back towards A.
You can see VP, they really wanted to force the issue to B. They wanted to give ENCE the fights so that even if they either win the round by pushing forward and cleaning up all of the Ts, or they lure the Ts into a false sense of security that they found the entries onto B and that they should just push into the site where the rest of VP were waiting. But it almost kind of reminds me of some of those like anti-eco strats that you used to see in like old school CS that you almost never see anymore. Like the Inferno plays where you push down Nana and then leave someone hiding like in Emo and like Heat and Potty set up between Emo and New-Box.
Yeah, just those really hard to remove strategies. But I mean, look at this. Just again, I feel as though ENCE early on in the game, every time they went B lane, they were harassed.
Yes.
We haven't seen that in quite some time. Buster does net one through the spam at least, so that makes things interesting here. VP, they want that 19th round.
Good thing about that A4 on a map like Ancient is you do have a much more spam potential. And now with the man advantage, Diha has often been probing towards this A side of the map, where Jame has been posted up. Good movement, keeps him alive, but that's not the player you should be worried about. It's Buster right now who's doing the work for VP. Finds 2 picks with the A4, a double dink on the player towards ramp. Spinx has control of middle, but for how long? Because the timing's been found by qikert. This is just going from bad to worse for ENCE, who have to complete a 2-on-5 to stay alive here, or they're going to the lower bracket, Jim.
This is a house of cards for ENCE right now, and it is just falling away one by one. And the chips are down right now as they get themselves onto this B-bomb site. Bomb plant will come in, but look at the aggression. Buster just rounds it out nicely. Flit combines to take it for VP. Eventually they fell ENCE, who will fall into the lower bracket. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back to break this down after the break.